I'll play a video now of me just completely off my face, throwing butter at the ceiling and pouring orange juice on my own head. Boys, for those of you that want to see the crazier intros come back, I can't do them every day. I can't keep getting crazier and crazier because they'll lock me up. We can't get too much crazier, but I'll just film 2 videos today because tomorrow I'm taking the day off. So the video I've just filmed, which you'll probably see tomorrow, the intro's wild, so don't worry. But this one, I'm a bit worn out after that vid. But after that video, I was having a think, and I was remembering one of my lowest points, my rock bottom. Because I had a friend reach out to me recently and say, look, Jack, I feel the worst I've ever felt. My life's going the worst it's ever gone. I feel like I'm in a total hole. I can't make myself do anything. What do you think I should do? And I was thinking, and I thought, well, I've been in that position, and I remember exactly what it felt like. So I thought, I'm going to tell you boys this story about my rock bottom, and I'll tell you how I got out of it. And if your story's anything similar to mine, hopefully it should help. And if it isn't, if your story's not similar to mine, then maybe you can adjust the way I fix things for me so that it suits you. But my rock bottom was at 19. And I'd been leading up to it for a while. At 18 years old, started going out, drinking, partying, taking drugs, doing bad things, being naughty. And I was quite an obnoxious personality. A lot of people that met me back then would tell you guys that sometimes I could be very difficult to be around. If you're taking a lot of drugs, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, for me, I was having a lot of mood swings. I wasn't sleeping a lot of mood swings. If I was up, I was up. I've always been a crazy guy. So you give me cocaine and drink, I can be very hard to manage, very hard to live with. When I was at uni, I was just an absolute maniac. I'll play a video now of me just completely off my face, throwing butter at the ceiling and pouring orange juice on my own head. This is a snippet of what it would be like living with me when I was 18 years old. So it had been coming. Rock bottom was on its way.
Oh, you fucking... Alright. Oh, God damn it.
You make me sick.
Right.
I was being self-destructive. I was working in a sales environment, but burning the candle at both ends. I was taking a lot of drugs, drinking a lot, partying, working as well. So I was just getting sick, and I just didn't look healthy at all. I'd forgotten about the gym and what my purpose was, and I'd gone to uni to do film, dropped out of that very quick, and then I just wanted to chase money, really. I just wanted to be rich and have a good life. But I just got misguided, and about 19 years old, I'd just come out. I did something quite good. I made a cleaning company at university called UniCleans with my friend, and we did a cleaning company for in universities, and we did end of tenancy cleaning. So if you've been to university, you'll know, like, the student houses, they can get really messed up, and then we put a group of cleaners together that would clean those houses, and we made a decent bit of money. Like, I think we made about, I couldn't tell you exactly, I can't remember, but I think we roughly made like 8 or 9 grand each over the space of like 2 months in the summer. So me and my friend, we had a bit of cash, so I wasn't working doing anything else. The end of tenancy cleans had finished, and I was spending money like crazy, just going out to the club. I'd recently met a new girl. She was living with me. She would end up being my girlfriend, and we were just going out partying and doing drugs and just generally being naughty. It was everyone else's start of the second year of uni. I dropped out but was still living in a uni house. So I was going out and partying very, very regularly, and it led to me running out of money. And I had a couple of friends, they were friends. They were doing bad things, but they were friends at the time. They weren't actually that bad to me as people, to be fair to them. But they were drug dealers, a couple of my friends, and I noticed that they were the guys that were sort of getting the attention. They were making money. And I just thought, well, I'm out all the time as well. I just do that as well. Decided, I'm going to start selling drugs. I'm going to build a line, which is basically where you go around and give your new number out to everyone. And you get people calling you and asking you for drugs. And I just thought, you know what, I'll sell like pills, or I'll sell weed, maybe some cat. I'll make enough money, and I'll be the cool guy around here because I'll have the drugs and the money, and I'll be this cool guy. The problem was I identified yet that I was an alcoholic and a drug addict at this time. So when I started dealing, although I was quite good at building a line and had customers, I was smoking a lot of my own weed. I was doing a lot of my own ket. And ketamine, if you've never done it before, is a horse tranquilizer. And it makes you like unbelievably fucked up. Like imagine doing one bump, like a small bit of K will give you the same amount of fucked up as if you'd had 10 or 15 drinks. So I was doing this stuff regularly and it was messing with my head. I hadn't understood that yet, that I'd been really abusing my body for quite a few years, and I didn't realise the impact it had had on my mental health. So I was going along. To everyone else on the outside, they might have thought that I was living the good life, the sweet life. I was making money, I was selling drugs, I was living that life. I had a girl who was hot and we were partying constantly, and it seemed like a good life. But inside I was hurting very, very badly, because whenever I wasn't drinking or taking drugs, I was incredibly anxious and very sort of aware of what I was doing, that this was not the right path for me. I had a very deep feeling of like, this isn't the kind of thing that I should be doing. I've always showed promise and talent and been a smart guy, and I was always very much into my fitness, and there was a part of me that was being entirely self-destructive, and it was very, very difficult for me to get my head around. But this went on for about 4 or 5 months, and after a while I just got too stressed. At this point I'd done a lot of the drugs that I was meant to sell, and I owed drug dealers money. Nothing crazy, no big drug dealers, no big money. And I had to go to a good friend of mine and ask for money to pay back drug dealers, and I didn't have a job to pay this guy back. And this was a friend of mine who had looked out for me through my bad behaviours over the last 2 years, and never once faltered in being an amazing friend, and never even sort of questioned me as a personality. He'd never questioned like who I was becoming or who I was being. He would just always wholly support me, and he was a very good friend to me through that time. And it made me sad that I had to go to him and ask for money to pay back these drug dealers. And part of me wanted to just do that and then continue living the life, I'll get a new load of drugs in, we'll try sell some more, we'll do some more, we'll have some fun. But it was like that respect I had for my friend, for not even questioning me or making me feel bad about asking for that money, was the turning point for me. So once he'd given me that money, I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this in terms of selling drugs, because I'm not making any money. I'm not bloody good at it. I'm terrible at it. I'm putting everything up my nose. I'm smoking everything. I'm being an absolute lunatic. I was getting into crazy situations out in the clubs, and I was doing crazy stuff. Like, you ask anyone who used to live with me, would rip doors off the hinges. I would be up on the roof of the house at 3 o'clock in the morning, dancing in the rain. I was a loose cannon. This man, he's crazy as it is. You don't want to give gorillas drugs. They go crazy. So I thought to myself, all right, we've got to get out of this. We've got to make some money. We've got to pay back our friend, and we've got to stop doing all these drugs. So I thought, all right, we'll start with the money bit. The drugs, I thought, I'm too addicted at the moment, which is weak of me. I should have just given them up there and then, but I didn't. I was smoking, drinking, taking a lot of ket, and I kept doing it. And I got a job at the same time. I went to an estate agent, and this estate agent was a friend of mine's, estate agents, and he'd offered me a job there because he'd seen me do the cleaning company in the area, and he thought I showed promise as a young salesman. And he would have been right. I did show promise as a young salesman. I've always been very good at sales, but the problem was when I went there, I just hadn't quite left that lifestyle behind. So I went for a few days and I was getting on really well with it. I thought, yes, I'm going to make some money finally. I can pay back my friend. I don't have to sell drugs. I can let all of that fear go of getting caught by the police and all that sort of stuff that was weighing on my mind. And I thought this job was the answer, and I was trying really hard. And there was a girl there who I was working with, and when you go and decide to be an estate agent, you can go and like show people houses and stuff, and you can show students houses. And we were going together to show students houses, and she sort of asked me, she was like, oh, what do you do like on the weekends and stuff? Do you like much into drugs and partying? And me, like, just being a complete idiot at the time, just goes, yeah, we're really into drugs and partying. You need anything, just call me, yeah? Just call me, I'll sort you out, anything you want. think I'm being Billy Big Bollocks, telling this girl this. And I get back to the office, everything's fine for the rest of the day. And at the end of the day, the boss calls me into the office and he says, all right, sit down. I'm like, all right, yeah, good day. It was fun out there. He's like, right, so you sell drugs, do you? And it just totally caught me off guard because I was like, how does he know this? How does he know I'm still dealing? And this girl had told him, and rightfully so. I was a complete mess at the time and not someone that should have been working at any company. So she was entirely right. So at the time I was very, very angry at this girl. I was like, she's the biggest bitch ever. She crossed me, she double crossed me. But looking back on it, it's one of the biggest favours that anyone could have ever done for me. So thank you very much. You helped me kick drugs and a terrible habit and a terrible way of living. So thank you very much for that. I can't even remember your name, but if I see you ever again, I'm going to thank you. I'm no longer angry about that. And it took a lot of balls of you to tell that to a boss. And I respect that. But yeah, he said that to me. He said, so you deal drugs? And I said, yeah, well, yeah, I do. And he was like, well, we can't have that. You'll be working with students. You'll be doing student rentals. Now that I know that, like, you've obviously got to be fired. Like, you do know that. And me, I felt, because I was so mentally weak at the time when I wasn't intoxicated, I was so self-conscious and anxious, I begged for this job back. I begged to have this job back from this guy. And he just said no. And fair play to him. So I left and cried a little bit. Called my girlfriend, was like, I've lost that job, I don't know what to do. And I went home and I decided, well, obviously if I want to work a real job, there's like no way I can do the drugs on the side at all. It all needs to go. And I need to find a way to get myself off this stuff. And that was when I decided to get back into fighting, to join the boxing gym. So we were coming up to Christmas time. I kicked like doing any drugs, pretty much everything, cold turkey, weed, ket, pills, everything, in the Christmas time, the start of December. And I asked my mum for Christmas if she would get me membership to a place called Phoenix MMA in Bournemouth, because I wanted to take part in a fight that would be coming along in the January, February, April of the following year, 3 months later. So she very kindly got me a membership to that gym for that time, because I didn't have any money to pay for it. And in that time I was looking for another job. So I went online, I found a sales job, selling telephone systems, telemarketing, selling telephone systems to businesses. And I got into this job and I met some incredible people. The training for this job was one of the hardest things I ever did, because you had to memorize like a 30-page script in order to pass the training to get on the phones. And the good thing about it was you could make quite good money if you were good at sales. You could make like 40 to 50 grand a year, UK pounds. So at the time would be like 60 to $70,000 a year, which was a lot for me. It's like just turning 20. And I did this job and we had to train. We had to remember all this stuff. I'm coming off drugs at the time, so I'm just totally depressed, trying to make it through, nearly bursting into tears every day, just managing not to, and just entirely destroyed inside with not a penny in my bank account, in debt to my friend. And I don't know how I managed to, because I've never really been that good at remembering stuff, but I managed to memorize this script and went on to have a decent career in sales at this place that allowed me to put money in the bank, to rebuild my finances, pay my friend back. And the people I met there were really quite wonderful. And I ended up with a great new group of friends that were not doing the things I was doing previously. And I started to respect myself a little bit more each day. So just a point for if you are at rock bottom right now, the first thing you need to do is realize that you need to kick the drugs and the alcohol straight away. Like just go cold turkey on it. Depends what drugs you've been doing, because obviously if you're doing something really heavy, you would be better to go to a rehab and get checked in. And it can be the same with alcohol if you're really quite a bad alcoholic. But don't think that there will be a day that you can quit. That today's the day. You need to give it up. It will only get easier once you give it up. Life becomes a lot easier when you don't have any of that stuff in your brain, in your mind anymore. Your life becomes a lot easier. Everything's hard when you're using drugs and alcohol. because your motivation gets stolen. Both these things steal all your motivation and your confidence. So life will get so much easier for you, but it will take a little while to heal, and just understand that. And the first thing I'd recommend you do is you need a purpose. You need someone to do it for. So if it's your mother, your father, you just look at them and think, look, they made a son, they put him in this world. Do I want to make them proud, or do I want to make them ashamed? This isn't about you at this point. This is about them. So make it about somebody else. That's what I did. It was for my friend. It was for my friend and paying him back. That was the reason why I did it. And in turn, built a lot of respect for myself again. And so I started with that. And then you're going to need some money. You're going to need to have something to do every day. For me, that job gave me a great period of guidance where I managed to get out of the house and start doing something daily. So when I got home, I was actually too tired to go out and party or do anything else. And I knew I needed to be at work. The work was very strict and I was making good money. So I had a purpose. I had something to go and do. So I'd recommend to any young man who's really at rock bottom, you get into sales and you use that same drive, that same part of your personality that can get you into trouble, that craziness, that part of you, because not everybody can do what you do. If you're addicted to drugs and alcohol, it takes a lot of commitment actually to live that kind of lifestyle. It's a difficult life, and you can take those same abilities and use them for good and use them in a job. So I would recommend you get into sales. What I did from that is I then started training. I started training MMA for an event. So I'd recommend you sign up for something, whether it be a white collar boxing match, whether you sign up for MMA, you sign up for a fight, you sign up for a marathon, a run, anything you want, some sort of competition to give you something to train for. And this gave me purpose in the daytime, making money. It gave me purpose in the evenings, and I met a whole new group of people that were good, productive people making money and great people in the fighting gym. And it allowed me to rebuild my social circle and become readjusted with normal people that weren't dealing drugs and doing bad things every day, and just build a nicer life. At the same time, I was ridding my body of those toxins. I was fighting, I was sweating a lot most evenings, and it allows you, it's like a meditation fighting. So there's a lot of demons in your brain after you come off of drugs and you've been using them for a long time, because they damage the way that your brain works. So you can feel a lot of sadness in those times, a lot of numbness after you come off drugs. So get yourself down to the boxing gym, get yourself down training. You're going to meet people that have also got demons. A lot of people end up in the boxing gym if they have some demons in the past, and there's a lot of guidance to be found there. So for me, after that point, that Christmas, I started training and fell in love with MMA. I met another great friend there who guided me, and we became training partners. And that really became the biggest thing for me. And everybody at work came to watch me in my fight. And work and fighting just became my life. And I then realised, like, people were proud of me. I started to put money away. I started to be a decent guy. I could take my girlfriend places. We'd go to hotels. I had quite a lot of money for my age. I managed to buy myself a decent car, the BMW. And life just started to be better, and I no longer wanted to do drugs or be a drug dealer or do any of that stupid stuff, because life felt good. I had a girlfriend that loved me, I loved her, I was fighting, and I had purpose and fulfillment. And things just rocketed off from there. I managed to spend a period of time doing the hard stuff, doing cold calling. It wasn't easy work, but that discipline turned me into a man, and the same discipline with fighting. And it gave me that backbone that I carry with me now to this day. So then I could evolve as a person, and I could become stronger and wiser, and then I could evolve on from that job. I went on to be a manager at another place, managing telecoms professionals. I managed to save enough money to then leave that job and spend time figuring out my own business. So if you're in rock bottom right now, just accept it. It's amazing you're watching this video, and I feel for you. I know how it feels to be there, but don't worry, you can get out of it. Like anything in life, you can make your way to the top. You can fight your way to the top. Think of someone you want to do it for, and just take it day by day. Accept that it's no one else's fault but your own, and start to change things in your life, because I guarantee you can go from rock bottom to sky high in 6 months. It's a long time, 6 months, and there's not much that you can't undo. So there you go, boys. An honest story, an honest tale, my upbringing, my origin story from my rock bottom days. For some people, that'll be like, Jack, you call that rock bottom, it's nothing. For others, you might think it's a crazy story. But that was me. That was part of the learning, that was part of my life, that's how I've grown up. And I wanted to share that with you boys because, well, we've been getting to know each other, haven't we? We've been becoming pals, all of us. But yeah, if you boys want to join the course, shamelessly plug the course. Yeah, if you're at rock bottom and you need to get out of rock bottom, buy my course, because then you'll get out of rock bottom. But seriously, boys, if you need the support of other guys, you want to speak to me on WhatsApp, you actually need guidance and support. I don't think there's anything that you could better that you could spend your money on than the course. You literally figure out how to exactly change your body, how to build your muscle, how to boost your testosterone, be more confident, and then you also have the like-minded group of guys around you that can literally support you. I'm in the chat every day. There's other guys in the chat every day that are just awesome guys. So genuinely, if you do need it, go on there. Check out my Instagram as well for daily tips, at Jack Hop Fitness. DM me on there. DM me if you ever want to see different content and stuff. Exciting news. I've got a videographer flying out to Thailand in September. So the September's content's going to be wild. So if you do want to see anything in September, like me out in the wild, dropping the loosest game, like talking to chicks and whatever you want me to do, just tell me in the DMs and I'll try and get that done. And then I've got an exciting collaboration, like super exciting if you're in the like self-help development space, that will be coming in August. When I come back to the UK, I'm going to be doing a collaboration with another YouTuber. I won't give too much away because who knows, you never know if these things are going to happen. But at the moment, looks like we're on. And it would be super, super cool because I watch a lot of his content. I think he's dope. It's not Hamza, by the way. I'll probably see Hamza for a chat and to hang out and also collaboration as well. But that's not the influencer who it is. So it's quite an exciting one. Stay tuned for that, boys. But yeah, that's me done. Tomorrow's vid is a discipline challenge. So get ready for that, boys. 30-day discipline challenge. I expect you boys to be on it, to be on your grind. But that's it from the Gorilla today. Ooh, whoppa, whoppa, whoppa. Namaste.